All right, everybody. Welcome to the very first Joecast. We're here at Big Island Guitars, and I'll let Scott.
All right. Well, like you said, we're here at Big Island Guitars. Want to send a shout out to Spencer Ahuna. He lets us rehearse here whenever I'm off. Which
Rehearsal,
is usually,
what's that?
Which is usually once a month.
What does that mean?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's swear words right there, and
I thought that was French.
pretty much.
Rehearsal is like French.
Some foreign language.
But yeah. So anyway, thank you, Spencer. Letting us rehearse here, and of course, this is our first Joecast. So
Spencer, woot woot.
thanks, Spence.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. You're awesome.
All right, welcome, Joe Holics. Welcome on board the Joe train. Before we get started and digging deep into what we're doing, I'm going to start at that end of the table and introduce you guys to the band. So,
What's up, everybody? My name is Grayson. I play keyboards.
Hello. I'm Jason. I play drums.
My name is Scott. I am the token bass player of the band.
I'm Ryan. I'm the resident evil bastard,
You can say that again.
and I play guitar and I attempt to sing. But anyway, the reason why we're doing this is because we wanted to do something that's different and fun, something that nobody else is doing, and we kind of wanted to reach everybody and make us accessible to the outside world there. So we're just gonna shoot the breeze here until we decide we're tired of talking. Hopefully
Plus, we didn't have anything else better to do tonight.
yeah,
So
we could have rehearsed. We could have rehearsed.
That's too much work. That's way too much work.
But anyway, so how about if we dig into the kind of the origins of the band? Starting with you, Grayson. Let's go a little bit into your background as far as how you got started, your influences, your formal education, if any. Just kind of share with everybody because you hardly speak, so you hardly talk. So everybody wants to know what's going on with the Wizard. So
No, we don't.
All right, well, for me, music has been part of my DNA for as long as I can remember. Growing up, my favorite toy was actually my trusty tape recorder, and I would go around and record songs and stuff from whatever and make my own little mixtapes when I was like 3 years old. So, yeah. Started taking piano lessons when I was around 5. Continued that till I was around 12 or 13. And around the same time I joined the intermediate school band, picked up the saxophone. And yeah.
Well, how about share with us some of your influences and stuff? Because I know you're into like a little bit older music,
Yeah.
classic stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, I'll listen to just about anything, but see, if we're talking favorite bands and stuff.
Hanson.
Yeah, Hanson. Definitely Hanson.
a little bit inside poor Grayson. He tries to bring Hanson songs to the mix, and he's shooting them down. Eventually, he'll get a Hanson song in there somewhere.
No, he will not. No, I ain't drumming for that. No way.
What about I know you went to UH Manoa. What did you do at UH when you were up there?
Up at UH, I was part of the marching band. Did that the whole time I was there. Super fun. Played at all the football games, basketball games, volleyball games. Let's see. I did jazz band for one semester. That was pretty fun too. Other than that, let's see.
And what do you do for your regular 9 to 5?
I work at KTA. I'm part of the IT department.
You're someone special every
We're
day.
someone special every day. Yeah.
All right.
I do operations and some programming.
He hacks NASA. All right, everybody. The inner workings of the wizard, Mr. Grayson Ishihara. And next to him, everybody, we have the one, the only Latino Heat. So Jason-
Before we go on, though, I gotta say, I'm so glad you said your favorite toy was a tape recorder.
I was fearing something else.
Anyway,
Lord knows what
Mr. Jason?
So I was brought into this world to a drum beat. I was drumming in the womb, and I'm still drumming nowadays. No, just kidding.
I was gonna say we couldn't tell.
No, it really was that way. No, honestly, kind of like Grayson. When I was like really, really small, I'd be like drumming on anything from like countertops, buckets,
Your little brother.
pillows, my brother's head. Sorry, Eric. Just anything really. And so I remember my parents contributing to my madness by getting me like this small little toy drum set, and so I beat the heck out of that thing.
Among other
And
things.
it's gonna be Grayson here in a little bit. And then naturally, like Grayson, also I hate sounding similar to Grayson in so many ways. But I did get into middle school, like band, and I actually
Dude, we got to share that stalker story later on.
Yeah,
we'll get to that
Okay, yeah.
eventually. So
This is actually, I think, a shocker to you guys because I never really said it. I know I told Rena. Hi, Rena.
Rena, shout out to Rena.
There's your
I
shout out.
promised we would shout her out. So here we go.
I told Rena this a couple of days ago, and she was floored. And I thought I had told her, and I don't think I've told you guys, but I was actually in orchestra for 2 years.
Orchestra?
I swear. And I played the viola. So,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
and- yeah, I came.
Incorporate that into one of our shows.
I sucked at it, but I
We're
I was
already
like in-
talking Hello Kitty drum kit, so why not a viola? You know?
Right,
Oh,
right.
God.
So I played that for a couple of years, and then I came to my senses, and then started drums again when I got into high school.
And you sucked at that too.
Says the one that plays a little toddler preschool toy for an instrument. So, anyways, and then in middle school and high school, I kicked ass on drums. I kicked ass in drum line. True fact, I actually made it to the Rose Parade in 2000. What'd you do, you little twerp? Played in Vegas in a couple of competitions for marching bands. So, all you out there in marching band, you're not nerds. Keep it going, unless you're Grayson. Don't do it. So
Yeah, I went to Europe.
college I played,
With
and
himself.
then let's fast forward. I started doing life stuffs like jobs and all that unimportant stuff. Graduated from college, and then fast forward 7 years. I made it to Big Island as a traveling therapist because I do therapy. Not physical therapy. Ryan always introduces me in the band as a physical
Yeah,
therapist. I'm an
I
occupational
sell roof for a
therapist.
living, so I don't know the difference.
So a little bit of a difference, but I'm not going to bore you with that because we're talking music. Anyways, I know Ryan's wife really, really well. I used to work with her. And meeting Ryan at a party one day, he was jamming some really cool music. I'm an old soul when it comes to music. So he was jamming stuff on his Pandora or something.
It was at one of our campfires. So
Yeah, it was a
and
campfire, which I think we're going to do a campfire.
One of my plans is to do a Joe
video
podcast
cast,
in
yeah.
front of the campfire.
Yeah, so I thought it was her playing it, and she said, no, that's my husband. And so that's when I first met Ryan. We talked the whole night about like all the music I like, all the music he likes, and we had a lot of similarities. He had another band at that time, and so I would go and support. And then I told him just off the cuff, oh, yeah, I used to play. And he kind of brushed that off. Because
Like
he
I
always
do
says,
everybody else. Remember, I'm the Resident Evil bastard here, so.
yeah, he always says, oh, you know, you get a lot of people that come up to you and say, oh, I play, and music is my life, and all this jazz stuff that he said earlier, all that hoopla. And I just told him, you know, I used to play, and just left it at that. And then this weird guy, he stalked me on YouTube, was it? YouTube.
No,
yeah.
because you told me what college you were at first.
Yeah, that's right. And so he
And
said,
any college has a drum line, so of course I used my stocking stick skills to its finest. And lo and behold, front and center was him playing. What do you call the drums you were playing?
well, they're called quad drums or tenor drums.
And how many drums were on those things? Are like 12 of them.
I started out with 5 in high school, and then I went to 6. And I had some cool little sambago bells that I played.
Kind of like how he adds onto his drum set now. Wherever there's space, add something in there.
all unnecessary, but I like to
it's all
look
part
cool.
of the deal. Your drum
all part
kit
of the
is
show.
a spectacle
Yeah,
in itself. So
Right,
your
right,
drum
right.
kit disguises our crappy playing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's better than looking at like a keyboardist or some piano, boring ass piano.
Oh, God.
So anyway, Ryan stalked me on that, and then it just kind of all fell into place where we started thinking, let's play. I found a used drum set in Waikoloa.
Yeah,
Waikoloa. So him and I took a trip out there and brought my baby home, and I've just added on to it since. And we've been playing together 3 years.
Ever since,
about,
even
yeah.
before this band. It's
Right,
Part
yeah.
of the old band. You filled in on a few gigs with the old band.
Yeah, nervous as all hell because I hadn't hit drums in like 7 years.
Oh yeah, my thing with Jason was when I saw him do his drum line thing, I was like, my response was, Shoot, dude, if you can play that stuff, our stuff is easy. You just fake it till you make it.
I'm still doing that today.
We all are.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, so,
Especially Grayson. He's taught us all the fake it, you can make it tips ever. So
but anyway.
But yeah, that's me.
All right, Jason Silver, everybody. All right, next to me is the bass player extraordinaire himself, Big Sexy.
Right
Scott's
now,
here.
first of all, you can see what we deal with in the band, right?
Grayson's like the other little brother I never wanted.
Oh, but anyway, yeah. So, all right. Well, let's see. I got started playing music. Actually, when I was in intermediate school, you had your what did they call those things? Your you had your required courses and you had your optional courses or whatever it's called. So it was either shop or music, and I really had no interest in shop for whatever reason. And so Stevenson Intermediate, 7th grade, started playing the tuba of all things.
Tube State.
And I remember at the time, I was just so highly disappointed that was the instrument that I
Oh,
got.
me too, man.
You know, but hey, what the heck, right? So anyway, but so I played that through 7th, 8th, 9th grade, got up through Roosevelt, and that's where the fun was because there's marching band. And of course now playing the tuba was cool because you had those sousaphones, right? So now you could just blast people all over the place. But yeah, I started playing around with other instruments also, and picked up the bass. Actually, it was 83. Well, 83, 84. I think it was 83 when Iron Maiden's Flight of Icarus came out, and that was the first time I picked up the bass. So,
Bro, you've been playing bass since as long as I've been alive.
well, no,
I was born in '83, man.
That's when I first picked it up. No, I had a 20. Okay, well, I played a little bit in the jazz band in high school, and then after I graduated, didn't touch a bass until a couple years later. A group at church decided, hey, let's form a band. So that's what we did. I was the bass player. Did that for about 9 months, and the band split up, and didn't touch a bass for over 20 years.
And then kind of fast forward us into, like, I know you were in a few bands before this one, so you can kind of share with that too.
Yeah, well, my first reintroduction back into music was a group called Jude 9, which was
Good band.
Yeah, so a couple of mutual friends, Dave Iwata, Laura Iwata, and so anyway, I saw Dave one day at Calvary Chapel in the office, and he said, "Hey, we need a bass player," and I hadn't touched the bass in 20 years. Went up to the rehearsal, and they're desperate enough to say, "The job is yours." But so that was my reintroduction back into music. Got into country music with the Michael Strand Band.
Shout out to Mike. Woo, Mike.
So Mike,
Come jam, man.
yeah, definitely, man. And then got involved with Bruce Marshall. We had the little group called the Bruce Marshall Project before he ended up moving to Washington. He, Indiana. What's up, guys? And I think there was about a 9 or 10 month span in between. And then one day Ryan sends me a message. Hey, I'm going to start up a new band. Already got a drummer. You want to do something? And I was like, sure. So that was how the three of us got started.
Those were the
And-
good old days.
But Ryan and I have always kind of wanted to do something together anyway. It's just the timing was never right, and this just came along, and it pretty much just fell into place like less than a week or something. I think 2 weeks later we were in here rehearsing.
We had stuff lined up before we were even a band.
Yeah, but that was pretty much my story as far as getting the start here, and it was a few months later that we added Grayson, and that's where it's been.
I met Grayson at church, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Ryan does go to church.
Not anymore, but I should, though. I mean, sorry if you guys wonder.
I do.
Jason still goes, but I don't. Hard to believe he goes, but he still goes.
For 2019, I've only missed one Sunday.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So, yeah, he can put alms for me, too, then. But anyway, next we got the ringleader, Ryan
All right.
Sabate,
AKA the Resident Evil Bastard,
Reverend Chocolate.
Reverend Chocolate. This is kind of fun. We can get into all of that stuff later on and how all of that came about. But anyway, I am the ringleader and guitarist and trying to be vocalist of this band.
Instigator.
Instigator, yes. If there's any
the
trouble
best
going,
one is
if there's
Instigator.
trouble going down, it's me. Everybody, even if these guys started, they blame me. But that's okay. As a leader, you got to take responsibility for the band's actions,
But the question is, when was the last time we started anything?
right? It's usually me opening my mouth too fast or something, and these guys got to eat it for me. But anyway, I'm Ryan, and I put together this thing because I wanted to. I was just coming off of another band, and we're itching to do something. Actually, Jason and I were jamming with the old band, and we needed to do something. Actually, I put something together, and we got hired for a party before we even had a band. So
Right.
So timing was perfect because Scott and Jason and I got together. We put something together. Did what? A couple parties, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
With singer here and there or whatever, but we did, and we actually pulled it off. So we added Grayson, and here we go. But anyway, my history goes as such. I've come from a musical family. Pretty much everybody in my family plays something, and I grew up in like the Hawaiian congregational churches where a lot of ukuleles and traditional Hawaiian music and stuff. And I started in sixth grade band. We're all band nerds, by the way. I was a trumpet player, sixth grade. So
Now that I never knew.
I was a trumpet player all the way to my junior year in high school, and then my junior year I had to pick between sports and band. But so of course you chose sports because chicks. But anyway, it never left me. Yeah, but I come from a really strong musical background, and then my introduction into playing guitar and electric guitar came in the 10th grade, and I was watching MTV one day, and an Ozzy concert came on, and I decided that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I gave up all my prom money that I was going to use to go to the prom, and I bought my first guitar. And then from that day on since, I've been at it. And then I done what I do also in the military as well. I got really serious when I was in the military. I would sit in my room and practice. And because I don't drink or smoke or do drugs or anything like that, all my friends went out and partied, and I stayed in my room and played guitar all day, playing along with cassette tapes, believe it or not. and cassette
We're going way back.
way
now.
back, cassette tapes, and better yet, those little foldouts in Guitar Player magazine, the little plastic records. Those too. You don't even remember those?
I don't know those ones.
The Guitar Player magazines would come with the little. You can pull out like a plastic, looks like a piece of plastic paper, but it was actually a record. Put it on the record, and there'd be like the spotlight artist of the day. And then so I had bands in Korea, and then I guess my big first real band was actually in Salt Lake City, Utah. I spent like 4 years up there in the military doing it. After I got out, I lived there for another couple years with Craig and Sherry Barron, who are my mentors. So they kind of taught me everything I know. And then I came down here, played with many, many bands, and kind of too numerous to name. And then hit the club. Well, I don't want to call it the circuit. It's just bars over here. The bars, played in pretty much everyone and maintained good relationships with pretty much all of them. And then, but speaking of which, before I go any further, I'm going to shout out the bars that kind of gave me my start. The first and foremost is 100% Moxie. That's Says and Mama Jerry. They now own Hali Inu. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing with these guys or any of the bands that I'm doing now. And then the second place is Humpy's / Laverne's in Kona, Doug Soboski and Neil Barnett. Those guys, they really take care of us out there, and we love going there. Matter of fact, March 9th, we're over there. So if you guys are over in Kona, come check us out. But they've really taken care of us. We actually started there with the old band, and then now with Average Joe's, we've been there, about two years now, yeah? Going
Almost 3
steady.
years, yeah. About 2.5.
So we love it over there, and we do what we do there because they take care of us, and fantastic place to play. And then, of course, we can't forget Mr. Tommy Harrison.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Koki's Hideaway. That was like
Godfather.
our home here for a long time with the old band, and prominently this one. This one was there kind of longer than the old band, and we loved it there when he was running the place, and they sold the place, so we're no longer over there. And of course, CJ at Lava Shack, and who else did we forget?
Town Tavern, Hilo Town
Yeah,
Tavern.
Israel and Megan at Hilo Town Tavern as well. We're there this month. Well, tomorrow's March, so we're going to be over there. But those guys really take care of us over there, too. But anyway, and then when you put this thing together, I wanted to do something, repeating myself, something different and not like anybody else. And I think our formula is we dare to be different, and we try to, you guys can jump in at any time, but we try
Different
to.
by design.
Yeah, we're different by design,
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And our influences don't reflect our catalog. Because, Grayson, what are some of your influences?
Let's see. Well, there's Hanson. Probably like the Beatles. I really like James Taylor. Just a lot of older stuff, primarily.
I got to say one thing about Grayson was, I ride with him to the Kona side whenever we're out on that side. A lot of times to Lava Shack, the couple times we went. His catalog is amazingly just so widespread that I mean, if he was just to put his what your MP3 player on shuffle, I mean, you would hear just a whole wide variety of songs.
And then Jason, what about you?
I like a lot of like the '80s stuff. '80s.
That's how we
classic-
kinda
yeah
clicked.
Yeah, that's how it was. It was like White Snake.
Yeah,
and
we do our
AC/DC kinda
our
thing.
guess the band thing.
Yeah, stump the what was it?
Stump the band or
Stump
stump the
yeah,
person.
We'd try and stump each other.
We'd have
We'd play-
Pandora or his radio station, and he'd be
Yeah.
like, "Name this song, name this artist," and we'd just go on for hours and
Yeah.
hours and hours. And
Yeah, I think I ended up winning a lot of those.
Yeah.
Those matches.
so
No.
Jason, for a younger guy, likes a lot of the '80s, '70s. Isn't your like mom guys like?
Yeah, that's straight up from my parents.
Yeah.
You know, going places in the van or
And
whatever.
you too, Grayson. Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of my credit to them for that.
And
but-
then and of course Rush.
Oh yeah, I love Rush.
Oh, yeah.
Love Rush.
Me too.
I guess just geographically, where I grew up in New Mexico, in Las Cruces.
Las Cucarachas.
Every gig, Las Cucarachas.
Las
but it's
Cucarachas.
Las Cruces.
Because I can't say Las Cruces. It's Las Cucarachas.
Just
I
say
can
it.
barely talk as it is, and he wants me to speak Spanish.
But I can't say Sylvester George.
So anyways,
I'll say
a lot of like Spanish influence down there. So like
Oh,
that's where Santana
yes, yes.
and a lot of different local bands. I'm actually friends with the drummer from a local band in New Mexico.
So you
They're
you probably
Oh,
had in touch with not got
I
in
thought
touch
you said
with
local
listened to,
bands, like local bands here.
Oh no, in New Mexico, in New Mexico.
But
Yeah.
you probably heard a lot of the Rippingtons too. Then Russ Freeman and the Rippingtons. Well, more jazz kind of stuff. Oh.
No, I like Latin jazz. That's good.
Yeah, weren't you like in a Latin project too, doing percussions and stuff?
No.
No, I thought you were like you'd get together and jam with some.
I have Latin percussion instruments,
Oh,
and
okay.
I wish I could dust them off and play them, but they're back home and I'm here. But yeah, a lot of different influences from U2, Rush, Santana. That there's just so many to name, but really good music. Music is just awesome, you know. Even if it's
Agreed.
country, but you know, it all has its
Exactly.
place,
Some
you
people
know?
will say, "Oh yeah, people post on Facebook music stuff," but for like us four, it's a lifestyle. It's not just something we can post on Facebook and say, "Oh yeah, we need music for healing and this." No, it's in our DNA.
Right,
Okay,
right.
Scott. So what about you? Your influences and stuff.
Well, I mean, same thing. Like you and I are '80s kids, so I mean, a lot of the '80s hair metal, the pretty boy metal and stuff like that. But I guess back in that time frame, the two biggest bands for me were Iron Maiden and Rush. And
Grayson shocked me because he listens to
Yeah.
Maiden.
well, I think I got him into
Yeah,
that a
you-
little bit.
He got me into Maiden.
So, but it was always those two bands, and then I remember, back when Guns N' Roses came out with Appetite for Destruction and Welcome to the Jungle, and I was like, holy crap, who are these guys? But for me, they've always been, like a lot of their albums have been kind of hit and miss with the songs. So, I can pick out a lot, the songs that I like, and I can, do away with the rest. But late '80s, early '90s, Dream Theater came up at the same time too, and so
I think that's where we connected.
yeah. So my big three are, like I said, Iron Maiden, Rush, and Dream Theater, and conversely, my three favorite bases comes from those three bands.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much my influence. I listen to a little bit of jazz, more of the what they call it, like soft jazz or something like that, or smooth jazz rather. But a little bit of classical here and there, but mostly it's '80s metal and rock and all that stuff.
For me, it was like butt rock or cock rock, or they call it. So I was into like big hair and spandex.
And yet he won't wear assless chaps.
And I have pictures, by the
Please
way.
don't.
And if you ask me, I will proudly show you those pictures. So I was into like a lot of 80s MTV Headbangers Ball Metal, so a lot of Dokken, Van Halen, Ozzy, Motley Crue, all of the makeup rock, that stuff. So my big three are actually, when I first got started, was Jakey Lee, he was the guy I saw in the Ozzy concert, George Lynch from Dokken, and Vivian Campbell from Dio. And everybody asked, oh, how come not Eddie Van Halen? Well, actually, he came afterwards, because my first real rock album was 1984, so I actually got the Van Halen catalog and worked backwards. And then little did I know that my favorite guitar player, or the guy that got me started, Jakey Lee, actually replaced Randy Rhoads and Ozzy, who died a year prior in a plane crash. So that I had to work backwards too. But anyway, I was into a lot of that 80s hair band stuff, and it kind of reflects in my playing. Any song we do, it's like so. But anyway, but what I'm trying to get at is that our musical influences are totally different from our catalog, and there's a reason why we kind of do the things we do with our catalog as opposed to our influences. If you guys, any of you guys want to share why we kind of do that, you guys feel free.
It's all about the ladies shaking their butts.
Yeah.
I'm forced at gunpoint.
Yeah, I guess what Scott said is actually kind of right. I mean, we can play what we want to play, and I think our formula for success, and I'm not saying that we're real successful like playing Madison Square Garden, but as far as what we consider success is our longevity, and that we're able to not have to struggle to get gigs. So our formula is we actually play what works as opposed to what we want to play, and I think not throwing shade on anybody here, but a lot of bands will do that. They'll play what's in their heart, and that's fine. But you got to actually play what works and gets the people moving. So there's simple science, actually for me anyway, behind what we do. So it's top secret stuff now that's going to be all over the internet. But anyway, there's my formula. There's science. Is you play songs that'll make them dance. More dancing equals more drinking. More dancing equals thirsty people. Thirsty people equals more drinking. More drinking equals happy venue, and happy venue will get you more gigs. So that's kind of been what we've been doing. So we actually take notes as far as what works and doesn't. And if there's a song that we do that doesn't work, we immediately get rid of it. And if there's something out there that works, we keep it in there. And then what we kind of do is we keep our sets really fast paced, so that way. If we screw up, which is a lot, we can actually move on to the next song without them remembering. So it looks like we're formulating this wonderful string of music and masters. It's partly because we don't know the whole song, so we kind of mash them up into one giant song. But anyway, yeah, we don't take as many breaks. Like I said. All right, there's everybody,
science
welcome
behind
to the
kind of
very
what we
first
do.
Joecast
And our catalog,
We're here
we
at
kind
Big
of
Island
try to
Guitars
be as
and
diverse
as we can. And
All right, well, like
another
you said,
thing
we're
that
here
I
at
like
Big
to
Island
do
Guitars.
when
Want
we
to send a
pick
shout out to
is
Spencer
really do
Ahuna.
stuff that nobody else is doing. That way,
He lets
it's
us
unique to
rehearse
us.
here
So I
whenever
think
I'm off, which is
rehearsal,
usually
what's
once-
that?
it's usually once a
our
month.
catalog where we're
Yeah,
doing
pretty
stuff
much.
that
I mean,
not
that's
many
swear
people are
words
doing.
right there. And,
It makes us
I
unique,
thought that
so
was
we don't have to be the
Pretty
best
much.
players. But
Rehearsal.
it's something nobody else is
some
doing,
foreign
which is
language.
kind of the way we
yeah.
run
So
things.
anyway, thank you, Spencer.
It kinda helps us
letting us
in the
rehearse
long
here,
run
and of
because
course,
we're-
this is our first
we're rolling pretty good,
Joecast.
right?
So, not only that, but it's not only the catalog.
Thank you, Mr.
but it's,
Spencer.
I mean,
You're
you
awesome.
and I are on.
All right,
wireless.
welcome, Joe
And
Holics.
it's the engagement.
Welcome on
with
board the Joe train.
people that are in the crowd.
Before we
Yeah,
get
totally
before we
forgot
get
about
started
that.
and digging
Try to
deep
make
into
our
what
shows
we're
an
doing,
experience.
I'm going to start at that end of the table and
kind of
introduce
what
you
we
guys
wanna
to the
do
band.
is
we want to get everybody involved
What's up,
with what we're
everybody? My
doing
name's
instead of just
Grayson. I
standing
play
up there,
keyboards.
up there and playing.
Hello, I'm Jason.
So
I play drums.
we want to make our show an experience, because what happens if you lose a crowd, the momentum dies. So what we try to do is keep them as involved as they can, and it makes them enjoy the show that much more. And then, sorry for interrupting.
No. But that's what it is, because it's a catalog. It's choosing music that we believe are going to work. Get the people up and dancing, and it's all about getting people involved. I mean, we always say don't listen to us, experience us, and that's really a motto that we live by. We want you to experience. We want you to enjoy the show with us and be a part of what we're doing. So,
And then also, like, we're very accessible, and that's key to this band, and we really live by that, and we preach it. And like during our breaks and stuff, we'll make sure that we go out and thank the people for coming, get to know their names, where they're from, and keep them interested in what we're doing. And we make it a point to make sure that we thank those people, coming, and they end up either returning or liking our social media stuff, which is really cool. So, I think we're, out of all the bands here, we're probably the most accessible ones, and then we kind of pride ourselves on that, just making sure that people enjoy us. And they see us always together as a unit, because this band, we were actually friends first before we were a band, before we were actually a real band. So we actually have relationships off stage. So that kind of helps when we got to call each other on stuff and when we got to learn stuff. And it actually helps, because that way we're a lot more comfortable around each other. It's not like we're playing and last note, oh, bye, see you later. No, we actually go to Ken's or in Kona, it's that convenience store to debrief each gig.
yeah,
and
the 76 gas station.
People don't think that it's important, but to us it is, because we kind of debrief the show. Talk about high points, low points. We really don't talk about what we need to do better, because we care, but we don't. It's not that important. As long as the people in the audience enjoyed it, I think we've done our job.
I think a lot of times too, the crowds that we play for are there to have a good time, because we're playing bars, we're playing the clubs here in the area. So it's not really like, I'm not saying like we're gonna go totally bomb our show, but I think people are there to just have a good time. I know in Kona a lot of them are on vacation here, so they're just wanting to have a good
serious.
time. Yeah, so we want to help them and facilitate that by playing music that gets them moving. Sure, one wrong note here, there, one missed beat or
1,
something.
10, 12.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you get by, and I don't know. I always try and think of it like, you know what, music's fun. It should be fun.
Exactly.
And when you lose sight of that, and it's not fun anymore, then maybe you should start looking at doing something else, or like hitting the reset button, so to speak.
Got to reevaluate what you're doing it
I've
for.
always been blessed to have that, like, either told to me or like in some sort of way instilled to me.
And
where
even-
music should be fun.
Even in this band, I think you guys have had to kind of pull me back a little bit when things got too tense or serious.
A freaking
you had to
man.
you had to come to the band, come to Jesus moment, and I had to reset, like Jason said, and remind myself that, hey, you know, it's serious, but we got to have fun, because if it's not enjoyable for everybody, it kind of reflects in the crowd. We go to gigs, other people's gigs all the time, and I'm not going to throw shade on anybody, but it shows when you're not having a good time up there and you're not serious, and then that energy will kind of reflect off the audience, and they feel it. So you got to make sure you do your best not to show that you're not having a good time, because if even if there's no cover, they're paying paying for drinks and food or what have you to come see you. So you damn well better put on a show, because they came to see something, and you don't take what we do or your gifts as an obligation. It's something that we get to do. It's something that we don't have to do, and it can get taken away at any minute. So the one person that chair in the front, even if it's only one, you got to put on a show regardless.
I think a lot of that too, where you're saying about us being friends outside of the band, and it showing on stage, like the cohesiveness. You can see that in like another band, other bands on the mainland. I've seen it here. It's just, if you just kind of put people together, you can get by. It's survival mode kind of, and it might be good. I think cohesive, that's really important, in that I know what he's gonna do in his Elton John song, and I know how he plays his "Give It to Me, Baby," and something like that. So you can kind of anticipate, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Grayson
a
will
little bit.
speak 3 words the whole show, and I can kind of communicate with him without even having to talk. So
That doesn't mean talk anymore. You're fine. You're fine where you're at.
But no, it's true. It's very important, because I mean, like, I can look at Grayson, and without really saying anything, I can kind of tell, where he might be heading. And like, I mean, we played, together long enough where, one of the things I like about drummers is knowing exactly where the kick is going to be. I mean, that's so huge for me. And it's like, with him, I have no worries about where he's going to be. So
I
Thanks,
think
man.
the
I'll
key.
pay you well
I
for
think
that
the key
comment.
I think the key for a lot of this too is evolving. You gotta be able to adjust and evolve. You can't be complacent and be satisfied with what you're doing. You got see. The thing is, we go out to other people's gigs, and it's not. Yeah, sure, we go to enjoy ourselves, and I go to take notes to see what works and what doesn't work, and then my gears are always turning as far as what we can do in the band. We're constantly adding stuff, trying stuff at rehearsal when we do rehearse. Like for instance, we're at last rehearsal, which was before Queen's Court, I think, doing a little jam. Grayson pulled out some Elton John stuff, and we're like, oh, we got to find a way to put that in the show. And with zero rehearsal, we did it at Queen's Court, which is always one of our biggest gigs. And if that's not having some big balls, I don't know what is. Like going to Queen's Court in the middle of Waikoloa with no rehearsal, pulling off an Elton John medley, following it up with John Lennon. And who does Let It Be? Is it Wings or is it the Beatles?
Beatles.
The Beatles, with no rehearsal. And then everybody loved it. And they're like, man, that was so amazing. Thank you very much. But anyway,
and what was funny too is that when we did the rehearsal, you only did was it Candle?
one song, 2 songs.
Your song. And
Yeah, your
Yeah.
song. And all of a sudden we're at Queen's Court, and he pulls out this medley, and we're like, holy crap!
And now everybody wants to steal them.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah, just kind of stuff we do. We see what works, and and the thing is, we try to make it work for us. And like for instance, we just threw in 24 Karat Magic, which if anybody knows me, they know that's the last song that we do, but it works, and we made it work for us. So we do this giant mashup. And just a little secret for those of you that seen our mashup, they're all interchangeable. So it's like little pieces and bits of songs that we can put here and there and make it different, so it's not the same. So, and everybody thinks it's really cool because nobody's doing anything like that around here. but it's unique to us. And the little secret is because we can't play the whole song, so we take the parts that we know and make them into a mashup.
Well, Gracie could probably play the whole
Yeah,
song.
not me, though.
The rest of us probably.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So, but any other like feedback or like, opinions on the band and you know how we're doing and.
I don't know. I like where we're at. I like
This is
where
just,
we're going.
just to let you guys know, this is something off the cuff, not rehearsed. We didn't like our music, not rehearsed. We didn't write
like
anything
our
down.
gigs, we're not prepared.
Yeah, we're not. But everybody thinks we're so prepared when we walk in. But little did they know, we rehearse once in 6 months.
Yeah, we're in survival.
Survival
fake it till you
mode.
make it.
But see, that's how good we are. We even if we're in survival mode, we do it with a smile. And if we bomb if we bomb a song, circle.
Touch and go.
Touch and go. But you know, I'm really
say we haven't had one of those like
No.
really, and I'm not tooting our horn, but I think we've done pretty.
we haven't had a
good-
bomb
good
in
for
a long time
ourselves.
where we had to actually stop the song
Yeah.
in a while.
I do remember a couple of
I know
those years ago.
But you know, we made it part of the show, so it was okay. You know, it wasn't too bad.
But the good thing is, if we do mess up, most of the time people are too drunk to care.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah. But that's a good
Right.
thing because we butter up the drunk people and we make them feel like they're part of the show, and we make them feel loved, and they don't care. You know, they just want to have a good time. You know, they're not there wondering if you're going to be in the fifth chord of the mixolydian mode on Sunday afternoon and you know the clouds pressure level whatever. No, they're here to hear 3 notes, 3 chords. We'll play for 200 people. Play 3,000 notes. Play for one person.
Right. You know, but and I think the thing that's been pretty cool too is that the whole evolution of the band, not only in catalog, because I remember coming in the band there was a catalog, and we pretty much picked from there what was going to work. And you know, it's been over the last 6 months or so where we've actually, well, maybe 6 to 9 months where we've kind of really expanded that catalog with
As a
some of the
4-piece.
songs we've
Yeah.
added. You know, and you know, as we've gone as a 4-piece, that's when our catalog basically exploded.
Just to kind of set the record straight, we've had female singers before, but we're not going to go into detail who they were, whatever, because to me, you know, they're either not really they were helping us out, and we're grateful to you guys for helping us. Some were other members, and they left for various reasons, but we're not going to go into it because it's about us 4, not about what happened in the past. You know, and the way we felt is it's great to have vocalists running the band, but to a point where we were held hostage because we kind of relied on them to do all these songs, but after a while we're like, you know what, we could still take gigs, and we were actually a band before anybody joined, so we could still move forward as a 4-piece. So, but we had to really bite down hard and build our catalog around us 4 here, and we actually have more momentum now than we've ever had, I think.
And I remember telling you for a while that, you know, let's just do the 4-piece thing. I mean, because you know, we were the core, we are the core, and so I was saying for a while, let's just do the 4-piece. You know, and you know, when we finally committed to that, you know, I think that momentum really took off.
Jason, Grayson, you guys want to add in anything?
Yeah, what you all said.
amen.
But anyway, so, you know, moving forward, I don't have my phone, so I kind of remember the dates. Let's kind of fill in everybody on where we're going to be.
And then you're going to ask
we're,
us.
we're actually blessed. So that's it's a long list of dates that we have. So, okay, so go ahead. Yeah, any of you guys. I don't have my phone, so
So March 9th, we're at Laverne's in Kona.
shout out to Doug and the Fab Four. Whoop,
Thank
whoop.
you. March the 13th, we're at Wainaku here in Hilo.
Yeah, first time. So come on down, everybody. We're the first time we're going to be at Wainaku. So it's either going to be a train wreck or a big success. So come on down.
Yeah, good food. The guy that sells the nachos, I don't know his name, but he's awesome. He likes my car, and I like his nachos.
That's amazing. He likes your car.
Well, and I like his nachos, so free ride for free nachos, no matter if I'm playing or not. So that's March 13th. Then March the 16th, we're back at Laverne's. Thank you, Kona. March the 22nd, we're at Hilo Town Tavern.
Shout out
in
to Megan
Pahoa.
and Iz. Woo-hoo.
Yes. March 30th, we have a private party. Sorry, you're not invited.
Well, if you hear us, just stop in. And believe me, you'll hear us.
Just crash the party.
You hear us.
I do like people to carry my drums, so you can get in that way.
It's down in Kyokaha.
You want to do the April ones?
Oh, we're gonna do April. Okay.
Just do them all.
All right. Okay. So let me see here. Okay.
Grandpa.
Yes, I have. So here we go.
Get the eyeballs
But
on.
anyway, April 13th, back at Hilo Town Tavern. April 20th, back at Laverne's. And then another first, April 27th, we're going to be doing Eagles.
The 3-band thing.
3 bands. And I think we got, is it Johnny?
Johnny Ness.
Johnny Ness. And,
tentatively, and then Vinyl Pirates.
yeah.
And then another thing that I like to do, and being the resident evil bastard that everybody thinks I am, I like to take bands that kind of nobody really knows or are kind of stuck to one geographical area and get them exposure. So we met Vinyl Pirates at Lava Shack.
Yeah.
And then we do Lava Shack as well. So when I wanted to do, when we got the Eagles gig, I was thinking, the place is big enough to where we can fit several bands in there. And I wanted to, my goal for that whole thing was to get several bands in there to where they can meet our fan base, we can meet theirs, and vice versa, and everybody can meet each other's fan base and get exposure to their fan base, their families, their friends, whatever. But the different thing that we're doing is like the traditional way people do multiple bands is they go one after the other. What I'm planning to do, and it may be a big train wreck, but nobody's done it. I'm going to have all 3 bands set up at once. And then what's going to happen is we're all going to rotate sets, because the reason why I'm doing that is because when one band plays and their set is done, they usually leave and their fans leave too. So what I'm going to do is rotate the sets like in a merry-go-round, a round type deal, to where they got to stay and their fans got to stay till the whole thing is done, so everybody can get a different variety of the music. And I think the 3 bands with Johnny, if you ever seen Johnny, he's really cool. Vinyl Pirates are fun, and then us is like super diverse catalog, and it's going to be all mixed up. And the way it's going to be is like when the band playing is on their last song, the next band's going to be ready to go. And as soon as the last note hits, the band starts. So that way there's no dead time in between the stuff. So we'll see. I'm always trying to evolve and do things that nobody else is doing. Like Jason said, different by design. So, and it's just our mad scientist way of thinking and doing things. And I think kind of rubs people the wrong way here, because we go kind of against the grain. We're not in the pasture, so to speak. Well, I call the musicians fraternity here in Hilo the pasture, because it's a small, tight-knit group of people. Nothing wrong with that. But it's, it's kind of diluted because it's not a band. Like us 4, we're a solid band. You'd say Average Joe's, it's Scott, Jason, and Grayson, and myself. It's us. So it's, I'm not trying to be malicious or mean-spirited or talk crap about anybody, but we choose to be different and outside the box of anybody else. But anyway, April 27th. Okay, so what else we got there?
Okay, so after April
Is May.
Yes. So what we've got going on after April right now, May 11th, we're back at the Hilo Town Tavern.
We like tavern because we can play loud.
Yes.
Yes. June 6th, we're going to be down at the Lava Shack in Pahoa.
Yep. That's the second Saturday. That one always, it's like the Pahoa Art Walk. It's always fun when we do that one. So, and we don't know who our opening band is, but there is going to be one. So.
June 15th, we're back at the tavern. And July 27th, we're at the tavern again.
Yep. And then we'll fill in the spots as we go. And our schedule fills up pretty quick. So, not boasting or bragging, but it's to the point where we've done all the work off stage and on stage to where we don't really have to scramble for gigs too much. And I don't really like calling them gigs, because when we get up on stage, those are shows. I don't like calling them gigs. It sounds so workmanlike, and we like to perform and put on a show for everybody. And even when we were at Koki's, we used to have like multimedia. We had videos outside. We actually put lights up and stuff. And you got to go. I think you guys can kind of add in. You got to go that extra mile. If you just get up there and play and not give them something to watch, it's like routine. Like for us, everybody wonders, what are they going to do next? Like the media thing at Koki's was a first. Then we put a video screen outside of Koki's with a slideshow. Nobody's done that before. Jason had a fog machine at one time. Grayson had his little, what do you call it? Guitar and all that stuff.
Yeah, what happened to that? You should dust that thing off.
Yeah, I got to work out the kinks on the program.
And then Grayson also plays saxophone too as well.
Yeah, what happened to that? You got to dust that thing off.
You got to dust off his sax. But,
then-
remember, how you're talking about like the different things that we do.
We forgot to tell him about the conga lines.
Oh, yeah, conga lines. Oh, gosh.
Oh, Laverne's, like we're across the, like have you seen us at Laverne's on the Ali Drive? There's the rock wall where everybody takes the
Yeah, yes.
sunset pictures. Like we're we're all wireless pretty much, except Jason. One day we'll get him to be
Well, Jason's wireless. It's just he can't go anywhere.
We're like on the rock wall across the street, and nobody's ever done that before. I mean, I got in trouble because I was concentrating more on that than my plane. It's like I had to worry about my plane first and running around like a madman outside. But everybody dug it, so it's
So now you can actually say our shows literally stop traffic.
yeah, they do. Because I was in the middle of the road.
You probably got flipped off a few times, but hey, we did it.
Hey, get off the street, you evil bastard!
and then that one time at Laverne's where we were in our Hanaho, and which was at that time.
yeah.
The Don't You Forget About Me, and for a while I had a bum knee, which I really found out was gout in my knee, which hurt like a bastard. But it was like, I'm looking at all these people standing there. I mean, literally dancing right in front of the stage, and they said, "Okay, well, during the last part, I'm gonna hop," and I started hopping, and everybody started hopping.
And the bar started hopping. Literally, the floor was like shaking, and then that kind of fires us up. And we feed them good energy, and they feed us back, and that's kind of my thing. We're gonna make sure we feed you good energy, and so you guys can feed it back, and vice versa. But usually, it's the patrons there that feed us the energy that kind of fire us up, and it works hand in hand, and it's something that you got to do. And once you get that train rolling with the people, and as far as them getting into what you're doing, it's nonstop after that. You not only gain a new fan, you gain new friends, and then people talk about you. That's number one. You want them to remember who you were. So that's pretty much.
And I remember at the Lapa Hoihoi gig when Grayson had his guitar, and he's out on the grass,
On the ground.
sliding on the ground. And it's like, that was some really cool stuff going on,
I
man.
think there's pictures of that.
There is.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
pictures on
yeah.
the page.
He's laying down on the ground.
And I remember that gig because Crystal Cabral took a bunch of pictures that I still have on my computer, and it's like she took some really good shots because there's that one I put up where I was standing in front of you and just kind of facing you, kind of doing that pose, and I know Ryan really liked that picture. But there's a ton of pictures from that gig, including
Oh, before we go any further, Kevin, come in front and kind of wave in front of the camera. We're gonna bring in the fifth member of Average Joe's.
Have you ever seen a silverback gorilla up close?
Yeah, he's coming, everybody. So Kevin, just come in front of the camera and wave. This is Kevin, everybody. Say hi. Say hi to the camera.
Yo, how's it going?
Kevin is the unofficial fifth member. He's kind of been with the band. Now you're blocking the camera. Get out of the way.
Blocking me.
He's
Gonna
actually
watch
been
me.
he's been with the band since its inception. So he's kind of officially slash the fifth member of the band. He's wouldn't go anywhere without him. He actually wouldn't be able to do all the pictures you see on our social media and stuff. Is Kevin takes it. So thank you, Kevin, for doing what you do.
Yes.
Nobody
We love you,
will get
Kevin.
afterwards.
Kevin.
But yeah, so shout out to Kevin, everybody. But yeah, so we're rolling, and we got to make sure that. What are you guys talking secrets over?
He's saying our red camera's out. of
Oh,
film.
okay. Main thing, the other one's going in front.
That's what I was trying to ask.
Is the other one going?
Yeah.
Okay, that's main thing. Okay.
Action.
Action. Okay.
And
But
we're
anyway,
back.
Yeah. And we're back.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us, and I hope this is going to be probably a weekly or bi-weekly thing, depending on Scott's schedule. And I think my mission, and these guys would agree, and they can add in afterwards, is to, like I said in the beginning, we want to make ourselves very accessible to you guys because you guys only see us on stage or as a gang, or we call it OG.
Yeah.
We're the original gangsters. So whenever you see us on Facebook or Instagram, OG, that means original gangsters. And then whenever Scott gets to get off and we're not gigging, we always go, let's OG. So we kind of make it a point to go together to kind of strengthen our bond. It's not like a Hallmark movie.
It does.
Does
It
it?
really does, yeah.
So it's we do stuff like that to kind of strengthen our bond, and it makes working together much easier because it lightens everything up when we go. We're usually making fun of each other. They're being really PG right now, just to let you guys know. Especially these two guys right here.
Yeah, what you saw earlier is
It's nothing.
nothing.
So, but what is the saying? Oh, we love you, but we hate you. We hate you,
Yeah.
but we love you, man.
And boy,
And that has
boy,
a backstory,
That is a
too.
backstory.
that was a story that's
Should
going
we
to take
share
a
it?
whole.
Should we share the backstory?
That's going to take a whole nother podcast.
Why don't you guys share the story? Because I was just the driver that night.
I was drunk on life and water, not beer.
Now the
And-
real story behind that is that we went out to Corky's, and
Bar hop that night, yeah.
Well, I think
did
we
we
were bar
hop?
hopping. 'cause
See, I don't even remember that far.
it's all a big blur.
But
Drunk on
well,
life.
what I do remember was telling Jason, "I'm sorry, but you will go to work tomorrow morning with a hangover," which he didn't because he did the.
And I get to be
the hurl
entertained by
out the
this because
window.
I'm usually the driver because I don't drink.
See, See, so this is instigation right here because he does not drink, so that frees us all up to drink. So,
Oh man.
you know,
And
drink
boy,
Kool-Aid.
and boy, was that a night of drinking.
yeah,
'Cause,
yeah,
man.
that was bad.
Yeah, I mean, all I remember was waking up the next morning with my shoes
Well,
on.
you gotta tell him when we were driving home. That was the most out there. That's where the "I love you, man, but I hate you" came about.
Now, keep in mind, I don't remember a lot of this.
I do. I'll let you
This
guys
was
share it.
told to me, but apparently on the way home, when we turned up my street, Jason said, "We gotta stop, and Ryan said, "We can't." It's like-
I'm in the middle of the road on Puaynaco Street.
so anyway, I think Jason rolled down his window, and he's
No, I
halfway
opened
out.
the door.
He opened the
Opened
door.
the
I didn't want to
did his
get
thing.
his
Yeah, and,
door.
and he's
And
over
Scott
there
was
curling.
teasing him.
And apparently I was laughing in the back or something. And Jason, Jason's over there, excuse the French, but he's like, "Fuck you, but I love you, man."
And it stuck. So it's been kind of our catchphrase.
Yeah.
I hate you,
effing
but I
hate
love
you,
you.
but I love,
Love
you
you.
guys. Yeah.
And that's kind of true in the band because we gas each other a lot, but our bond, we're really close. Might not seem like those two are close, but they are. They're buddies. So.
No.
No, not at all. No, that's where I draw the line.
Oh man.
No, but a lot of people always say we give Grayson a lot of grief, but a lot of people don't know this kid.
Yeah, they truly
He's
don't.
the worst, especially in
They
text.
truly don't.
He is the worst. He's gotten some good ones in on me.
And there's a story too. You remember when we were gonna do the birthday bash for my birthday when I turned 50, and we were supposed to Grayson was supposed to do the
The roast.
the roast. Okay. Well, anyway, we kind of forgot about the roast during the show. So we're at Ken's, and so Grayson whips out his phone and he's like, "Well, this is what I was going to say." And so anyway, I grabbed the phone from him, and I'm reading this, and I thought, and just the first paragraph alone, I'm like, "This is too good. I have to read this out loud." And I don't know how many of you remember the comedian Stephen Wright, but he was a very deadpan comedian, and I can read Grayson's text in that total deadpan voice, and we were just cracking up, because and he got all of us.
Yeah, it wasn't even my birthday, and I
He got me good too.
yeah.
Because he's saying, Scott, you just turned 50, which means you're half as old as Ryan Solos are. And then he's you've turned 50, which means your heartbeat is about as erratic as Jason's drumming.
Yeah, this little turd's good.
He's good. So if you guys think he's an angel,
He's not. Far from. He's probably the worst one of us all.
You know what they say about the quiet ones, right?
It's true with this guy.
and I get all the blame for being the evil bastard. But they didn't read his text. Oh my God! Don't get us started on anybody because it's going to be a long text thread. Trust me. We've had some doozies. We won't name names, by the way.
And you see some of those text threads where it's like, on my notification, it's like all I just hear is these zzz, 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 it's a one after another for I swear like half an hour at a
God forbid you miss an OG because you'll get like a one-word text from the remaining members of the band.
At like 3 in the
At 3 in
morning
the
when we're
morning.
barely winding down. Like
You don't
"Hey,
even
let's
have to
one
be in the
word
band
on."
and you'll get these one-word texts. We did that to Dustin.
So you got to read
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
text just to get a whole sentence. So you get like 50,000 messages just for one sentence.
I think the first time we did that was I think we were at the Coconut Island.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then,
We were hitting up Grayson.
Yeah, and because Grayson had I guess he had church that day. He served that
serving.
day.
That's what he
So
calls it.
so he went home and just relaxed at home, and we're like, let's just one word text him. And and so of course the phrase hermaphrodite came up, but hey, what the heck, right?
Anybody else? But we're on a fun ride, man. It's just I can't, I wouldn't want to be in another band except Van Halen.
Or Journey.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a joke. I mean, and these guys always hear it. I'm the next Filipino in Journey, by the way, just to let you guys know, okay? But anyway, yeah, I wanted to say that, I really appreciate these four guys because it's me getting the gigs and being the figurehead and the face of the band, but without these three, none of this crap would happen. Well, crap. I call it crap.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it
So
is.
proud of these guys, all this crap they do.
But yeah, I mean, we click as a unit. We're not the most prolific players, individually, but you put us four together as a group, and if you ever come to our shows, you'll see that we click really good, and you'll thoroughly be entertained, by the mistakes or not. Or basically, we put on a high-powered, high-energy show, and if everybody's seen it, they know that we're gonna come in there and kick you in the nuts big time, and we're serious, but we're not. We're serious about making sure you have a good time, but we're not so serious to we're not going to enjoy ourselves on stage. And we pride ourselves on having fun, and we do. If you ever see, please come check out our shows, and we just read off our dates, and you can check out our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, and all that good stuff
Pornhub.
for our dates and stuff. And then come check out a show and get to know us better, because in Hilo the community's small, and you only hear what you hear about us and what you see and what's on the surface. But once you get to know us, we're pretty good guys, I think. Well, I don't know about them
three of
me.
us. 3 of us are.
Once you get to know Grayson, then it's all over.
Yeah, don't get to know Grayson.
But yeah, we wanted to. I wanted to say that I appreciate everybody that does come to the shows and appreciate it. And if you get to our show, and we're gonna try and win you over. If we don't, at least you came to watch us once, and then. But I can, in a good or bad way, I can almost guarantee you're gonna remember our show. It's not gonna be just a bunch of 4 guys up there playing music. It's gonna be an experience, like we always preach. We make sure that our shows are an experience, and it is. It's a high-powered, high-energy, fun experience.
And along the years, we've met some pretty cool people along the way. I mean, especially at Laverne's. I mean, we meet people from all over the world.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
So
that's really cool.
And that's the enjoyable part.
Even
of it.
Grayson has fans. But yeah, and that's why I preach Kona a lot, and I love it there because, like I said, not throwing shade on this side of the island, but playing on this side is like playing for your auntie, because you see the same ones all the time, and nothing wrong with that, because we appreciate them all. They all come and support us on this side as well. But when we go to Kona, it's always a fresh recipe. We get them from Norway, Brazil, Finland,
North Carolina.
North Carolina, Doug Espejo. But anyway, when they do come and we meet. And it's funny because even the locals from there, the Holly ones, we think they're from far away from town. So during our break, where are you guys from?
Kona.
Like, okay, thank you for coming. But then we meet the ones from like Iceland and Norway, and they're like, oh, you guys are so awesome, and it makes you feel so good because, they get what we do over there because like I said, going back to our catalog, it's stuff they recognize. Even the stuff that's not familiar here. They know the songs because we pick songs that are pretty much, no doubter hits, and we do stuff that they're familiar with. May not be too familiar with here because kind of small island, yeah, and the music scene here is a little bit different. So when we get people like that from off island coming in on vacation in Waikoloa and in Kona, you totally get what we do, and that's why we keep going back. And it's so totally worth the drive when we go over there. People will always ask, "Oh, isn't the drive really long?" Yeah, it is, but the payoff is when we get there, and those 3 hours that we put in at Laverne's or Waikoloa or wherever we're at, that's the payoff right there. So,
Agreed.
I agree too.
Same here.
okay, so what's next, boys? I mean, we're actually thinking about bringing in some guests. We're not going to name them yet because actually some of them actually confirmed already that they want to be on the podcast. And once again, shout out to Spencer Ohuna, Big Island Guitars. You see all of this right here? That's Spencer. So come down here for all your guitar music needs, and if you need lessons as well, he's a fantastic instructor. He went to the Musicians Institute, so he's a smart feller. He's educated, so he knows what he's talking about. But we're gonna have him on as a guest. He said he would do it. Hopefully he watches the video and say, "I didn't say I was gonna do it, but you said you were, so you're gonna do it."
Well, he might see this and be like, "Oh God, I don't want to do this now."
And I was like, I withdraw.
But the other ones we're not gonna announce them yet because we gotta make sure we confirm, and they're kind of big ones. So stay tuned. And then we just got permission from Hale Inu down in Waikia Villas, Says and Mama Jerry. See you guys soon. They wanted us to go down on Kachi Kachi night. That would be interesting, yeah. Then Jason can play his Latin music.
I would not be sitting behind a mic. I'd probably be just dancing.
Dancing, right? Like in the middle of the podcast. Wait, let me get up.
This is my jam.
We'll put a headset on him, and he can talk at the same
Yeah,
time.
wireless mic or whatever. And then I just got confirmation from Doug at Laverne's. He said we can do a podcast over at Laverne's because the way we do Laverne's is we usually leave Hilo. We play at 7, but we usually leave Hilo at about 2-ish, and then get there and set up, and then with enough time for us to unwind and eat. We usually eat dinner together as a band there. And my idea was to actually shoot our podcast while we're eating before we play, and he gave us the green light. So that one's going to be good. We love Laverne's. Wait till you guys see that, because you guys get to see where we work, and you guys probably get to see the sunset after, just before we hit. That is the biggest reward of all. It's like, if you ever seen our work office over there, you guys would be jealous. You guys be trying to steal our gigs for sure. But you guys don't want to drive, so sucks to be you guys. So we'll drive over. But yeah, and then Tavern, Israel at Tavern said we could do a podcast over there. So what my idea is, before the gigs, if we have enough time, we'll sit down real quick, chat about the gigs, and review them and stuff. And then probably the next podcast after, or vidcast or whatever, Joecast, we'll review the last gig and highlights, lowlights, and talk about like how we're talking now. But this one is a little bit long because it's just the introductory, the first one, introducing you to us four. So welcome to the family, everybody.
And the next one will probably have subject titles or something,
Yeah.
something we can legitimately
We
talk
actually have
about.
like a, what you call that, guidelines to go by. This one we're
Wh-
just
wh- which we don't follow, but
Like an agenda or something.
we're shooting from the hip here. So how you doing over there, Grayson? You doing good, man?
I'm good, man.
Oh, Grayson's here.
Yeah, this is every gig, people. Lucky if you get him to speak 3 words, but the guy's super talented. But yeah. But anyway, so anything else in closing, gentlemen?
no, well, I mean,
No,
it's the first one, so I mean, hey, we're, like Ryan said, shooting off the hip, but I think better things are to come.
For
Oh
sure.
yeah, definitely.
We're rolling.
definitely, yeah.
I think we are.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
We're in a good place right now, and I think here people just have to warm up to us because we're a little bit different. Well, a lot different.
Some of
With
us
the-
take more warming up than others.
Yeah, some will take more warming up than others. Because over here, like I said, it's playing for your aunties. So some of the stuff we do, it's not what they're used to. But
Not PG either, but
actually, some people that were off the train are getting on the train now.
We've
So-
noticed that.
Yeah, we noticed that a lot of people that didn't like us before and actually complained about us are actually showing up to our gigs now. And we appreciate them, but I haven't forgotten that you don't like us. You didn't like us. But thank you for coming to our gigs more and more, and we'll give you some props. Thank you for coming. But anything in closing, guys? Kevin, come in front of the camera and tell everybody bye before we leave.
here comes the eclipse.
The total
Bye, you
eclipse of
won't
the
see
sun.
me.
Turn around.
Now and then I get a little bit lonely. And
Yeah,
never coming around.
Okay.
Turn around.
It's a Sasquatch
Now
sighting.
and then I get a little-
But anyway, like I said, thank you for supporting us. And for those of you that don't, we're going to work very hard to get you to support us. I'm Ryan Sabate, guitar player, Average Joe's.
Scott Sayers, bass player extraordinaire, I think.
Jason Silva, the best drummer. No, just kidding. There's a lot of good ones out there.
Voted by his mom
Good
5
drummer,
years in
though.
a row.
And I'm Grayson Ishihara, keyboard player.
All right. But anyway, like I said, thank you guys, everybody, until the next one. I'm going to probably try and get this up by tomorrow. It looks like the sound is going really good. And hopefully I can sync the video. If not, at least you'll get sound. So, but once again, on behalf of the Joes, thank you guys, and peace out.
Thank you for tuning in.
Keep live music live.
Keep music live, everybody.
Goodbye.
Yellow Brick Road.
Right. Right.